Hey, I came live last Monday at 11, and I'm going to come till the end of March every Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to talk about overwhelm, to talk about why we have it, and really give you tips each week on how to begin to overcome overwhelm. It's huge, and we all struggle with it. And if we don't have it in our own life, it's certainly around us everywhere we look. So today I want to talk about who's in the driver's seat of your life. And so each week will be a different topic. Some of the other topics I'm going to talk about is how our past programs us for overwhelm, getting fear under control. That's a huge part of overwhelm, quieting the shoulds, and making confident decisions. So all of those, I'm going to have tips and talk a little bit each week about how we can begin to have more peace in our life, right? We overcome overwhelm because we want peace. We want to stop second guessing ourselves. We want to just be able to make a decision and feel like that's good. I'm right where I need to be. At the end of the day, I'm enough and I'm right where I need to be, right? That's what overwhelm prevents us from. And so that's what I want to share tips on how to move toward peace, that you're right where you're supposed to be. You are absolutely enough. So today, like I said, we're talking about who's in the driver's seat of your life. And it can be a number of different things. I know in my past, and last week I talked about you're here for a reason. And one of the number one regrets of the dying, there's a book about it, The 5 Top Regrets of the Dying. The number one is that I cared too much about other people's expectations. And that can absolutely be in the driver's seat of our life, right? Making our decisions, what we're doing each day, how we're responding to things or reacting to things. Are we letting other people's expectations be the boss? And I know when I was thinking about this years ago in my life, when I was completely overwhelmed, getting an ulcer, burned out, and everything was kind of falling apart in my life, I was like, oh my goodness, I had tons of drivers. Like lots of people were driving in my car other than me, right? It was, oh, this person wants me to do that thing. Cool, I'll go over there. This person wants me to do that thing. Okay, yep, I got to say yes to everybody. I got to be good. I got to be nice. And we're going in that direction. And after saying yes to so many different things and trying to be everything to everybody, I was just spinning in circles, literally and figuratively, like completely exhausted. Because the thing is, everybody is well-meaning. Nobody is trying to drive you crazy or overwhelm you, but they have their own agenda in their own life, right? So they have things they want to accomplish. And for me, I was always on their agenda, doing their thing. And so it didn't work out for me. It wasn't what was best for me. What wasn't what the best use of my time and my space. Nobody was trying to hurt me, but because I was letting them drive, I was on their programs and completely exhausting me because I wasn't taking care of myself, right? So other people's expectations can absolutely be one of the drivers in our life if we're a vehicle, right? And we want to go in a certain place to accomplish our goals, accomplish our vision, do the thing you're here to do. The other thing that can be driving is fear. And it can be fear about what do other people think? It can be fear, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not really good enough. Maybe it's not going to work out. Fear can be driving. Comparison is a huge thing that can be driving our lives. We're looking at other people, right? Especially you've heard it a gazillion times, like social media, we're getting everybody's perfect pictures and filtered faces and all the things. And we can look at other people and go, oh my gosh, they are so much better than me. They're so much prettier than me. They have their stuff so much more together than me. And that can be driving us. So that instead of saying, what should I be doing? We're saying, well, what are they doing? And maybe I need to be doing what they're doing because that's totally working for them. So maybe I should do that. Again, the problem with this is everybody's doing something different. So you'll be spinning in circles really quickly. And another thing that can be driving, that's driving for a lot of us, is our inner critic. And that's just a really mean voice in your head. And I remember for me, like it was so mean to myself in my head. Like, I can't believe you said that. Why are you saying that? You're dumb. That's not going to work. What are you doing? So much that I didn't even really know it was there. It was driving my life, and I could feel it because I felt like I wasn't good enough. And I felt like I was messing up, and I felt like other people were better than me. And that inner critic was just constantly in my head. And I didn't even totally realize it until I began to do the work to be kind to myself. And then once I started being kind to myself, then I was like, oh, wow, this is a whole new world. So what are the results of having other people's expectations driving, or comparing, or having fear, or the inner critic driving? What are the results? It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. We're not where we want to be. We're where everybody else thinks that we should be, and we don't have peace, right? So I want to share today 3 questions that you can ask right now. You can take a piece of paper and write it down or journal about it, and that'll be really good to get clarity. Or you can just think about it in your head as you're listening to this video. I want to give you 3 questions, and I go more in depth at my Kick Overwhelm to the Curb workshop. That's at the end of March, that I'm going to share a link in this video. I have worksheets for this, but I'm just going to share a couple of the questions from that today with you so that you can begin to switch. If you're feeling like everything outside of you is driving, and you want to begin to drive your own life and feel like I'm where I need to be, I'm going in the right direction, then I want you to just ask these questions. And the first one is ridiculously simple. And I'm going to take a minute and just see on Facebook if I can see if anybody's commented, so I'm not missing anything. So please forgive me while I look. And there is a comment. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Amba. Yes, Amba says slow exhale. That's a fantastic way. And that's really part of this process, right? When we're looking at how to begin to drive our own life, is to take a second. And that's why this first question is really simple, but the process of stopping to actually ask it, right? Just taking a second to stop, to slow down, and to ask it is huge. So if you have that piece of paper, I want you to ask, what could I do right now to decrease overwhelm in my life? It's a ridiculously simple question, but most of the time we don't ask it. I know in my life, I wasn't asking that. I was asking, how do I do all the things? How do I make everybody happy? How do I get through the day, right? Those were the questions I was asking. When you stop and you ask, what can I do today to decrease overwhelm in my life? You may be surprised. Just let the answers come up and see what happens. Our brains are designed to respond to questions. Questions are powerful when you ask the right ones. And I would do this often. Do it right now, but just throughout your week this week. What could I do today to decrease overwhelm in my life? When I do this with clients, sometimes it's like, take a nap, go to bed a little earlier, say no to something, eat a little better, drink more water. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be like move to Hawaii so that your life will be calmer. It can be really simple. So I want you to do that. The second question is, what's the most important thing for me to do right now? Again, super simple question, but the process of taking the time, asking your brain, tell your brain, this is what I want you to look for today. I want you to look for the most important things, not all the busy shoulds and all the things that we should be doing and we could be doing and other people want us to do. But what's the most important thing for me right now? And again, see what comes up. And the last question is, what would a friend tell me right now? And this is directly if that inner critic in your brain is as crazy as mine used to be in my brain and is just like, you're not doing enough. You didn't do that. You need to do that. What are they going to think? If it's just on like steroids in your brain, that inner critic, usually it's beating us up and it's being really mean. And we would never talk to a friend the way that we talk to ourselves. And that's overwhelming, right? It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. So what would a friend say to you right now? Looking at your life, looking what's on your plate, looking at everything that you have to do, everything you're taking care of, all the people in your life that you're loving and you're taking care of, and the work that you're doing and everything. What would a friend say to you if they could see it all and know right where you are right now? Or what would you say to a friend? And write that down, because we're way too quick to be negative and mean to ourselves and look at everything we didn't do on the to-do list. And we're way too slow to encourage ourselves and to tell ourselves the things we need to hear. You know, sometimes we're waiting for somebody else to do it, and we can do it for ourselves. What would a friend say to me right now? I know I have amazing friends, and I'm sure you do too, and they would say you're doing amazing. And so I can say that to myself. I'm doing a good job. Like, I've got my kids, I've got places I'm, taking them to today. I'm working. I'm doing things at my house today because it's a like home and work day. And I've been taking care of things, and I'm doing a good job instead of looking at all the things that I'm not doing well. So those are the three things. I'll review them again. And thank you, Amba. She's like, they're in the comments because she's typing them. What could I do right now to decrease the overwhelm in my life? It might be big, but a lot of times it's really, really, really simple. And then do it. Don't just write it down and not do it. Do it. What's the most important thing for me to do today? And again, you can ask this each day this week. I would encourage you to. And then let go of the things that aren't important, that are just piling up, that you don't necessarily need to do. Hi, Joe. It's nice to see you. And then the last, what would a friend tell me right now? And after you write that down, what would a friend tell me, or what would I say to a friend? Say it to yourself. Say, you're doing a really good job today. I'm proud of you. It's okay. It's okay to rest. Maybe you'd say breathe. Slow down just for a second. Maybe you go for a walk today. Tell yourself those things. And you can, like, as I'm talking about this, I'm just feeling myself slow down. And as you do this, I think you'll do the same thing. You can feel yourself just slow down a second. And that alone, just pausing, brings in more peace, brings in less overwhelm. So by asking these questions, you're training your brain to look for different things. You're training your brain to find you solutions instead of more crap that you need to do, or that you should do, or that you could do, or that other people are doing, right? So there's some tips to begin to overcome overwhelm. And like I said, the end of March, I'm having a workshop all about steps to kick overwhelm to the curb with worksheets. A couple of these questions are on those worksheets that you'll have, and really dig into it a little bit more. But please let me know in the comments, did anything come up as you ask those questions? Maybe that was surprising. What are you telling yourself today that a good friend would tell you? I know for me, it's you're doing a good job. I need to hear that today. And that's what I'm going to tell myself. I would love to hear it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll be sharing every Monday at 11 a.m. till the end of March, just tips on having more peace and overcoming overwhelm. So I'll see you. Have an awesome, awesome day. As I figure out how to end this video, I think I got it, and I'll do it a little faster than last time. Have a great day.